Poštovani gledači, pred tačno 40 godina, 19. septembra 1990. godine, današnji naša Crvena zveda i Benfica odredili planirani su utakmicu prvo povratku u šampionu. Naša Zvezda je stvarala rezultatom 3:2 i to posle velikog neometa koji je svojim golovima režirao Najko Jarenje. Najko Jarenje je bio dvostruki strelac u spektakularnom meču između Zvezde i Barcelone 5 godine ranije, a naš klub je Zvezd stvorio iz Benfica iz Katalonije u ovogodišnjem izdanju Lige šampiona. Danas je sa nama bivši igrač generacije koji je odigrala sjajnu utakmicu pred punim tribinama, strelac hat-trika protiv ekipa iz Lisabona, naš Najko Jarenje! Pozdravimo Benfiku Crvenu. Zvezda ima svoju silu od spola Najka Jarenja, čujem pesma. Dovrei conosci, non capisco come l'iscrizione, Crvena e Benfica.
It's on Europe's main stage where they are so desperate to perform and so delighted, I'm sure, to hear that UEFA Champions League anthem once again. And Benfica, who didn't get out of the group stage last season, but do not forget that in the 2 seasons before that in the Champions League, they reached the quarterfinals on both occasions. And in this famous setting, just over half a century ago, a European Cup final here, the 1973 finale, won by Johan Cruyff's inspired Ajax team when they beat Juventus. Let's have a look at the teams then. Crvena have got minimal injury concerns, so Vladan Milijevic can call upon the vastly experienced squad members that he would hope tonight. The likes of Rada Krunic, formerly of AC Milan, who's recently joined the club. Mira Spajic, a Belgrade born and bred centre-half as well as a seasoned campaigner. But the story might be in the host forward line tonight, as Bruno Duarte was playing in Portugal's top flight only last season with Farenense, and they beat Benfica as well. He will be a name that the travelling contingent will know well. Team of officials tonight are from England, led by Michael Oliver. Only a few days ago was at Anfield when Nottingham Forest won at Liverpool in the Premier League. Joined by Stuart Burt on the right of your picture and Dan Cook on the left. Here come the two captains. Mirko Ivanic of Crvena and Nicolas Otamendi, the Argentinian brute of a centre-half. Still supreme, even at the age of 36. Well, the team chosen by Bruno Lage is the same one that he picked against Santa Clara at the weekend in his first league match since his return. Some very recognisable names in here, the likes of Otamendi and fellow Argentina World Cup winner from 2022, Angel Di Maria. But there's emerging talent too, the likes of Antonio Silva, considered one of the best young defenders in world football right now. Alvaro Carreras alongside him at left back, only a year older at 21. And keep an eye on Kerim Aktürkoğlu as well, who's making his European debut tonight for Benfica, having recently joined from Galatasaray. Now, what a night for Crvena Zvezda. Becoming a more frequent member once again at this stage of Champions League football. Having had their great success in the early 90s, but they had to wait a long time to get back to the Champions League again. But here they are, and away we go. Crvena Zvezda and Benfica, both with glorious stories of great European days of the past. And the hosts in the red and the white, and Benfica, who, under chosen circumstances, wouldn't mind being in the red themselves, but tonight in the change strip of the black. And it is the visitors from Portugal on the front foot early on, with Di Maria trying to make things happen. Free kick has gone against Pavlidis. Here's Vladan Milojevic, the Crvena Zvezda head coach. Has won 3 Serbian Super League titles during his time in Belgrade. He was the first ever coach of this club to take them to the Champions League group stage, as it was then, back in 2019. Here's Otamendi. Followed by Antonio Silva. Pavlidis. This is Orkan Kokcu, Turkey international. Inside from Carreras. And something early on which was ambitious from Aktürkoğlu. Even if Glazer always knew, I think that was drifting away from his goal. He did score on his debut at the weekend against Santa Clara. Something encouraging in the first couple of minutes for Bruno Lage. Made his return to the club official 2 weeks ago today. He was with Benfica for the best part of 18 months in his first spell when he won Portugal's top flight title. He had been out of the game for almost a year after leaving Botafogo last October. This plays from Carreras. Mimovic back to Glazer, who has missed the first few weeks of the season for Crvena Zvezda. Marko Ilić has been holding the fort. Forward by Denmark's Alexander Bard. Right by Elsnik for Sveda Svesta. Calmly done by Antonio Silva. Really looking forward to him playing this evening. What a glimpse of him at Euro 2024. Carreras. Oh, it's a lovely touch. It's unlucky. Pavlidis couldn't take the ball with him. Splendidly brought down initially, though, by Vangelis Pavlidis. They've started with purpose here, Benfica. And they are forcing Sveda Svesta into some slightly nervous defending. Here's Kopchu. Silva. Kopchu. Saw the run of Carreras, but couldn't execute the pass. He didn't have too much further room to move into, has perhaps sensibly gone back to his goalkeeper. 3 points clear right now, and with the game in hand at the top of the Serbian Super League, Crvena Svesta have won 6 of their first 7 games. And obviously have had a taste of European football already this season as well, because they had to come from behind in their Champions League playoff to see off the Norwegian champions Werder Glimt. Having lost the first leg 2-1, they won here 2-0. I wonder where that boot of Ivanic has landed there, right on the shin of Alexander Bard. And Di Maria is having a civilised conversation with referee Michael Oliver. Antonio Silva should and does see the ball out of play. He fell behind within 30 seconds at the weekend, Benfica, in that game against Santa Clara, which was Bruno Lage's first game back at the club. They turned it around by half-time and had won 4-1 by the end, so there was no concern in the end for the multiple winners of Portugal's top-flight title, the most successful club ever in Portugal, Benfica, and by a distance as well. No foul by Olejinka, just a good bit of strength. Scored a very famous goal for Slavia Prague in the Champions League 5 years ago this week. Peter Olejinka was at the San Siro against Inter Milan in a 1-1 draw. Here he is again. Sol's cross, little deflection on that. Benfica calmly bringing it away with Carreras now. Reaching for it was Pavlidis, who did enough to get the throw. The new arrivals in this Benfica team. Vangelis Pavlidis, 18 million euros from AZ Alkmaar this summer, the biggest outlay of Benfica's summer. Did have a tremendous goal-scoring record last season in the Eredivisie. This boy's been with Real Madrid and Manchester United in his tender years already. Alvaro Carreras. Play a senior game for Ida. Here he is, Carreras. It's a good area. It's a scuff finish, though, from Rollheiser. I'm sure he wouldn't mind that opportunity again, because he didn't quite make the cleanest connections with the ball. issue. And now with the roar of Belgrade, on comes zveda. We've had to soak up a fair bit in the first 8 minutes or so. This is Mimovic. Antonio Silva on the end of it for Benfica. A spin into space from Rossa. It's got Di Maria lurking in a wide area. Even the legs have still got something in them. He's reached the ball ahead of Sol. And he's found the pass, Di Maria, as well. And the ball is forced in for the opening goal. Crvena, who is having a sparkling start to his new Benfica career. Scored at the weekend, and he's got one inside 10 minutes in Belgrade tonight. And Benfica are off to a flyer. Angel Di Maria can take a lot of credit for his part in this goal, even though the deflection that eventually carried the ball to Atakolu was more than a bit fortunate. And I just don't think that Rada Krunic was able to react in time. Maybe he doesn't see him coming. He was hungry though, wasn't he, Atakolu? Scored home and away against Manchester United in the Champions League last season for Galatasaray. And he has scored Benfica's first goal of their Champions League campaign this season. This will do very nicely indeed for Bruno Lage in his return to Benfica. As they had a troubled few weeks, Roger Schmidt's departure, I don't think was too surprising for many in Portugal. Bruno Lage's return certainly raised one or two eyebrows. Here's Silas. His pass looks and has got too much on it for Mimovic. Well, he seems to be the right man for the right occasion many times, the 25-year-old. Just has this natural knack of scoring goals. Here is Timmy Elshnik. Had a really good Euro 2024 with Slovenia. Mimovic. Good bit of movement and a lovely spin as well from Krunic, who is unable to test Trubin at the end of it all. Great feint that, isn't it? Well, one or two in the middle who were perhaps suggesting that Krunic should have tried to pick them out rather than go for goal. Trubin had that near post area covered well. Now the noise still coming from the stands inside Stadion Rajko Mitic is powerful despite their team being behind. More than 50,000 can get in here at capacity, the largest stadium in Serbia. Renamed 10 years ago in honour of a former captain, goal-scoring extraordinaire, Rajko Mitic. For those in red and white, led his team to 5 league titles in the 1950s. There's a statue of him right outside the stadium as well. Can't miss it as you walk in here. Chica. Here's Krunic, who might still be smarting about his deliberation in that Benfica goal. Now the South Koreans see, oh, it's a good ball. It was just taken off the head in the end of Duarte. Nelsnick on the corner for Sveda. His deliveries tend to be pretty good, and that's not bad either. I think it was Antonio Silva who leapt to clear it away. Sion. And that's Giga. There is Burkina Faso international, and of course there's a Burkina Faso international in the Benfica squad as well, in the form of Issa Kabore, who's on the bench tonight. On loan from English side, Manchester City. Mimovic. Ball not fully cleared, it's dropped to Duarte, who has cleverly dicked that up to the far post. In the end, nothing more could come of it for Sveda. He's got the noise levels up again. Looking for that opening, dangerous ball in. Meeting it was Olayinka on the stretch, but the last touch was off him, I think. Ivanic, it's into a great area as well at that near post. Over the head of Antonio Silva, out of the reach of Anatoly Trubin in the goal. Benfica, who have started with some pace, are beginning to be pushed back a bit here. Mimovic, who has spent a fair bit of the past few minutes forward on that right-hand side, the right back. In from Silas. Calmly done by Rollheiser. They are looking after the ball well here, Benfica. That is really neat indeed. Swept wide by Florentino. It's Carreras. Good shoot. Florentino has been with the club since he was 9 years old, the Benfica midfielder. In fact, it was Bruno Lage who really started to integrate him into the first team during his initial spell with the club. Koku. Carreras. Otamendi. It's a difficult pass to play up towards Aterkolu. They've made the one count so far tonight, Benfica. Been in 14 of the last 15 editions of the Champions League, the Portuguese side, but only 5 times during that period have they got to the knockout stage. That's a good try, the hands of Trubin. Got something on it. He couldn't keep hold of it, the goalkeeper. It's hit with fierce power from Krunic. And now this wide open game spins the other way. Off goes Rollheiser for Benfica. Aterkolu. Rollheiser, Aterkolu. It's between them two at the moment, and now he's given it away, but the favourites return straight back to Koku. Carreras. Di Maria, who's now drifted out towards this left side, the Argentinian. Rollheiser. Bar. Hokshu Bar. Lucky. Very fluent though, don't they, with the ball at their feet, Benfica. It don't look like they're getting soaked up in the noise that's coming from the stands either. They are playing their own game at the moment and they've got it back here. Pavlidis. Turkoglu. Carreras, good recovery from the backtracking Silas. Elshnik very sensibly just settling things down for Crvena zveda. This is Sion. Ivanic. Leinka. Duarte is waiting for the cross, but it was too high for him. Kept in by Mimovic. Seen off physically by Carreras. There's a super ebb and flow to this first 20 minutes in Belgrade. Here come the home team again. Seo Young-woo. He wasn't asking for handball. There were others who certainly gave a glance in Michael Oliver's direction. Angel Di Maria. Cleverly forward towards Pavlidis. Rollheiser. Pavlidis. It was a comfortable one for Glaser. But again, just the tendency from the Benfica players to sharply move the ball between them. Very, very good on the eye. Is that penalty shout? It's come off the arm of Alexander Bar, but the arm that is firmly out the way of the ball. Was that earlier try from Bruno Duarte, which just for a moment was a bit too hot to handle for Trubin. Well, very rare to see Nicolas Otamendi makes mistakes, but he made one at the weekend. He slipped very early on in that game against Santa Clara, which led to the opening goal of the game. But it's his team who are in front tonight. Much love during his time with Galatasaray. Kerem Atatürkoğlu won 2 league titles in Turkey. Still struggling a little, isn't he? Ognjen Mimovic. One of the bright hopes of the future of Crvena zveda. He's only 20 years old. He's already a Serbian under-21 international. He's hobbling off towards this near side, and I don't think he's going to be able to continue here. Michael Oliver is asking him if he needs some treatment. Seems to be the left leg, maybe the left foot. In particular, that's the problem for the youngster. So the sharp rise to fame, made his debut in February in the Serbian Superliga. 12 months ago, he'd been sent on loan to the Serbian second tier, so it's been quite a spin around in the past year for Mimovic. Won't want his first taste of Champions League proper football to end early. See, for the moment, Timmy Elshnik has slotted in as a temporary right back while Mimovic gets some treatment and they assess whether he can continue or not. This is Uroš Spajic. Faster to it, bar just ahead of Olejinka. Mirko Ivanic is saying, let's make a decision here. Is Mimovic continuing or not? Because we are short-handed right now. See the captain clearly making some gestures towards the bench there. Olejinka. This is Bruno Duarte. Now Silas. He used his hand there to keep his man from the ball. He did, and he went into the face as well, which is why Michael Oliver's blown his whistle. I think Orkan Kokcu is okay. He did get a bit of the elbow though, didn't he, of Silas? He's on loan from the German side, Stuttgart, the 25-year-olds. Another one who made his debut at the weekend. In fact, he got a yellow card for that. Never lost at home to a Portuguese team before. Crvena's faced up. Last one that crossed their path for Braga, who they beat here in the Europa League 3 seasons ago. Trailing tonight through that Kerem Atatürk goal 9 minutes in. Free kick here for the foul by Krunic. And the change that we were perhaps expecting has now happened. That is Dalcio, who will be a familiar name to some of Benfica's supporters who know everything about the club because he was actually with Benfica B for a few years. Guinea-Bissau international, and he is on for Mimovic. Imagine he'll be very, very eager to make an impression here. Olejinka. Not enough touches of the pass allowed Antonio Silva the time to clear. Seol, who started at left back, now looks like he's playing at right back, which will be a far more comfortable position for him because naturally he is right-footed. Dalcio has come off the bench, has gone into that midfield. Dalcio a little short with his pass, needed the interception from Seol. Still work to do for Spajic, calmly done in the end. Krunic has walked himself into danger. And Di Maria is danger, but he didn't get the pass right. This is Kokcu. And there was a push on him from Olejinka. Right under the nose of the referee. It's a sharp 1-2, and just as he was about to get there, that extended arm of Olejinka. It's not the sort of place either that Crvena's Festa will be wanting to give away a free kick tonight. Especially not with him lurking over it. One of the Champions League era's all-time greats, Angel Di Maria. He's now in his 15th Champions League campaign. Otamendi is doing his best work to try and block the view of all. His shoulders are pretty wide, so I imagine he'll disrupt the vision of one or two. Kokchu and Di Maria, the two over the Benfica free kick. It's Kokchu, it's glorious! And it's a night for the Turkey internationals. That is a treat of a set piece. And suddenly, inside half an hour, Benfica have the biggest grip in Belgrade on this game. Well, who needs Di Maria if Kokchu can do that? Glaser didn't even move. I don't know if he didn't see it. Maybe Otamendi did do a good job of trying to block a few. It's precise though, isn't it? Benfica's one-time record signing and a goal of genuine class. And a goal that has trampled all over Crvena Zvezda's big night. And I think as far as the Serbian team are concerned, they will look back on both goals with great dismay, because one has come from Krunic switching off and the other from a needless free kick given away by Oli Inca. Well, that's for a job to Benfica. They still had a job to do to score them both. I've already had Portuguese success this week in the Champions League with Sporting's win over Lille on Tuesday. Another goal for the red-hot Victor Gyökeres, but Benfica are ensuring that they're going to be, it seems, on list of honours this week amongst Portugal's big teams, making sparkling starts to their Champions League campaigns. Still a long way to go in Belgrade, but there's not a sense that Benfica are in any way flustered by this occasion tonight. They have looked the part, haven't they? Oli Inca will want to make amends for giving away the ball. He's played it. Not for the first time, the cross has too much height on it. Even for Silas, who was closest to it, but still far away at the back post. Sensibly done by Pavlidis, spotted that all the room was on the opposite side of the pitch. Look how far Di Maria has carried this ball already. The right back bar is there. This is Rollheiser. Carreras! Oh! Could have been another one. Just miscued his effort, the youngster. But there are black shirts swarming all over Crvena Zvezda at the moment. This is Florentino. Carreras. Rollheiser taken off him by Elshnik. He was being one of the more dogged players in the Serbian team tonight. On the last 7 league titles on offer in Serbia, Crvena zveda. 35 in total across their illustrious history. In fact, the past 4 league titles have been double winning seasons as well, because they've lifted the Serbian Cup too. Well, what's gone on there for Alexander Barr? He is in a great deal of agony. Not for the first time this evening either. The Danish international has found himself asking for a bit of help. Well, that's why. That is going to really hurt. Michael Oliver just ensuring that all those around him know that there will be a check on this, be it cursory or not, from tonight's VAR Stuart Atwell. Won't see too many better free kicks this week in the UEFA Champions League than that one from Orkun Kokcu. Lassa was nowhere near it. He'll actually have super memories already, Orkun Kokcu, of this stadium, because he made his Turkey international debut here against Serbia 4 years ago. He's got another reason to love this place now. And everything so far going very well indeed for Bruno Lage. He's got such a rich history with Benfica. He had 8 years with various age groups in their youth setup. Essentially coached all of them during that time. The likes of João Cancelo came through under his tutelage. He's spoken a few times before about the impact that Lage had on his career. Doesn't look good at the moment for Alexander Barr, because the stretcher has been asked for. Still smiling, still enjoying the party. Crvena zveda supporters won't be enjoying the scoreline. But of course, the beauty of the Champions League this season is that they will have many opportunities beyond tonight to make their impact. Next up for them, they're off to the San Siro. They've got Inter Milan. Barcelona are coming here. Stuttgart are too, as are PSV Eindhoven. So they're in that rare situation, Crvena zveda, where they're going to go to the San Siro twice, because they've got Inter Milan and AC Milan to play away. He didn't need the stretcher, but he does need the portable transportation. Alexander Barr. We've lost our second right back of the night. Mimovic has already gone off for Crvena zveda. And now Issa Kabore is getting his introduction. So we are going to have 2 Burkina Faso internationals on the same pitch here. Spent last season with Luton Town in the Premier League. And made a good impression despite their relegation. He's on loan from Manchester City, as he is in this spell with Benfica. So Konu. Sloppy perhaps from Kokcu, but even though he's apologising, he won't mind the fact that Benfica have got a throw here so far up inside Crvena zveda's half. In the hands of the Spanish under-21 international, Alvaro Carreras. Kokcu, ball won by Silas cleanly. How about that for flexibility from Otamendi? Didn't know he still had that in him. Silas. It's a foul by Carreras on Oleinka. Zrado Krunic making only his second appearance for Crvena Zveda tonight. On his debut at the weekend, joined from Fenerbahce, but of course probably most well known for his long spell with AC Milan. Their title-winning team 2 years ago. Coach's got a bang, but I think he's going to be all right. Giga. Stella. Those balls into the Benfica penalty area tonight have not been as precise as the home team would have wanted. But that's a good try, that's unfortunate. Even it's from distance. A Trubin on the move in the Benfica goal for sure. Very cleanly struck indeed from Mirko Ivanic. Actually scored in the past couple of league games for Crvena Zveda. Seal just too far ahead of Duarte. Not really had a sniff so far tonight, the Brazilian forward. Scored a goal against Benfica 3 years ago during his time with Vitória Guimarães in the Primeira Liga. Here he is again, Bruno Duarte. That was prevented by Otamendi. It's Rollheiser who's gone clattering into a challenge and has come out worse for it. Di Maria's touch is immaculate. Rollheiser going into the chest of Timmy Elshnik. Carreras looking to switch things. Here's Di Maria. Di Maria. That is delicious. Carreras will get there. Good defending from Giga. Leg waste that you need to play a pass like that from Di Maria. Let alone the accuracy. Possession turned over again in favour of Benfica. We've done that a few times in his first half in Belgrade. Monchu. There's Cavore. Di Maria. Carreras. The genius of Di Maria, unlucky. Rollheiser has tried to make that late unseen run behind the Crvena Zveda defence. Last touch has come off Oleinka. Well, they've shackled the wide men really well so far. The two full-backs, with Cavore now on for Bar, of course, but with him at right back and Carreras at left back, there just has been no opportunity for the host to get at them down either flank so far. This is Ivanic, tips away. Maybe it's the intensity that needs to be risen from Crvena's Festa, but again, some strong defending this time from the substitute Cabore. Final 60 seconds then of the first half, and this Benfica team under the guidance once again of Bruno Lage. It's got a bit of work to do in the Crvena Liga though. They're already 5 points behind Sporting in Portugal's top flight, who have won 5 out of 5 so far in the league. Sporting the only team who stood between Benfica and the title last season. Chica. 3 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the first half. Just anything for Crvena's Festa to lift the atmosphere and the levels of belief. They'll take it before half-time. It might be coming their way here. One ahead of Duarte, and then Otamendi got a boot on it, just to divert it away from any further danger. Here's Seol. Dalcio, off the back of Kokchu. The flag is up for offside. Just to pop the momentum of the home team. It's a brilliant spot that from the assistant referee, Dan Cook, by the way. Just to see across the line that Ollie Inca was not quite back in legitimate position. Pavlidis for Benfica. He's got a corner. Done a lot of unheralded work in this first half, Angelis Pavlidis. A lot of the creativity has come from behind him in the likes of Di Maria and Kolu. Roll Heiser as well, but he's run that forward line.
insurance can sometimes feel a bit puzzling. And until it's solved, everything can seem out of place. That's why Aviva are available for new claims around the clock to help make the pieces click into place. Helping solve your car insurance puzzles, it takes Aviva. Search Aviva Car Insurance.
Hugh Bonham Hicks?
Yes, pleased to meet you.
They would be lucky to have you, darling.
You have to get it, Deb. I've already moved into your room.
No, Arjun has not moved into your room and you don't have to get it.
Imagine the interviewers are naked.
You got this, Deb. I love you guys.
When you're not strong,
Dev Sharma.
Yes.
I'll be your
Nice to meet you.
Life needs a big network.
So, what big Hollywood star did you get for a movie?
I got Mr. Hollywood himself.
Nice to meet you. Clooney's let himself go.
Okay, Mr. Hollywood, let's go again.
But I'm just a baker.
Get 2-for-1 cinema tickets when you take out the qualifying products and compares the market. Simples.
I look up to you in the smell. Taking deep breaths and
Recognize this smile?
so much good. It's
Let us help with targeted anti-inflammatory muscle and joint pain relief. Voltarol, the joy of movement.
Yo, wanna smell premium? You gotta try this new Lynx thing. The new Lynx Fine Fragrance Collection. Smell finer than the finest fragrances.
a toy bar of chocolate, please. It's for my mom.
Your change.
Happy birthday, Mom.
There's always been a glass and a half in everyone.
Sainsbury's. Oh, we made of money.
Hey, Sainsbury's, explain it, will you?
Well, the same effort we put into our baking
Goes into matching prices.
Remarkable. We've actually come in under budget.
Get it now?
Already got it.
Sainsbury's. Good food for all of us.
TUI's best room, best view, best holiday. Book your summer 25 holiday today for the best choice. And save up to £250 per booking. Plus, there's a £0 deposit when you pay with direct debit. Get the best when you book first. TUI. Live happy. Financially protected by Atom. Dyson have engineered a machine that washes your hard floors properly. 2 microfiber rollers use clean water. One washes, the other finishes. Removing tough stains, spills, and dried-on dirt. Cleaning the rollers as it goes. Leaving kitchens, bathrooms, and living spaces sparklingly clean. It cleans itself. Engineered to wash hard floors properly. Buy direct from Dyson.
This programme is brought to you by Heineken.
Mama!
UEFA Champions League, official sponsor. I think Benfica's players would have positively strode down that iconic tunnel to brought themselves back onto the pitch here. That's Sadio Rajko Mitic. Half-time, they are leading Crvena Zveda by 2-0 in Belgrade. The goals from Kerem Asagolu and Orkun Koçu with a tremendous free kick. And there haven't been too many signs so far of a Crvena Zveda response. But football is a funny old game. These two met in the first round of the European Cup, actually 40 years ago. They were two-legged ties back then. And it was a great one for Benfica fans, but only eventually because they'd seen their team lose the first leg here 3-2, and they were 2-0 up in that game. They did win 2-0 in the second leg in Lisbon to progress, but that is a cautionary tale at least for Benfica as we move into the second 45 minutes. Just let us have to offer a little more creativity and perhaps speed of play as well if they're to peg back Benfica here on this first week of Champions League football in its new format, the league phase now. 8 games instead of the minimum 3, so there is a little more margin for error. Obviously the opportunity as well to have more Champions League games is a blessing in itself, really. And they've got themselves an early free kick, the Serbian team. Elshnik tends to be on most set pieces. He's on this one as well. And that is over the top of the crossbar. I think it was Olejinka who got his head to it. See the Crvena Zveda head coach Vladan Milijevic out on the edge of his technical area. There he is, a very proud Serbian, a very long history with this club as well. He was with them as a youth, came back for a short stint as a player in the mid-90s and then was in charge of their under-18s. He had the senior job for 2 years until 2019 and then returned in December of last year to continue the story. And it is some story. Kabore just clipping Olejinka. Studs just scraping down the shin pads. There's 2 free kicks inside the opening couple of minutes. Very similar positions. Elshnik, that one is low. He's going to go out of play, unlucky. Just hoping, I think, Benjamin Rollheiser that he could pluck that out of the air, but it wasn't a straightforward thing to do under the circumstances. Right start to the second half in Belgrade for Elshnik's corner, punched away by Trubin. This is Silas. Does have a trick up his sleeve. It's exceptionally quick as well. Dalcio. Now Seo Young-woo. He's a fullback these days. He was a winger up until his late teens. Kabore timing his jump well. Here's Elshnik. And Ivanic. No space, has gone back to Elshnik and Olejinka, rather unnecessarily, as tumbling to the ground off the ball there. Remember, he was the guilty party for giving away the free kick that led to the second goal. Milijevic has got a smile on his face, but I think that's masking a different emotion. So, Bruno Duarte. Are we going to see him come up trumps tonight for Crvena Zveda? Ivanic has gone past 2 of them. He's trying to get past Florentino still. Now Dalcio and Bruno Duarte. How about that for some brave defending from Antonio Silva? Just get any part of your body in the way of the ball. He did that. Don't know which part of the anatomy it was in the end. It was effective, though. I'm very pleased Benfica still to have him at the club, because there was great talk in the summer of a possible move to Paris Saint-Germain, who were reportedly willing to pay €100 million for him. The ball closed down by Ole Yinka. He's got that right, Michael Oliver. It was a corner. Last touch off Kabore. Got himself in a slight pickle there. Urgency definitely there from Crvena Zveda in this second half. Elschnitt with the corner. Bruno Duarte got connections on it. Here's Silas. Silas into the grasp of Trubin. He won't be getting up too quickly from that, because I think Benfica just wants to take the sting out of the play a bit. Out in the Champions League group stage last season, Benfica, they finished behind Real Sociedad and Inter Milan, but they got a ticket to the Europa League instead. They ended up reaching the quarter-finals of that competition last season before exiting on penalties to Marseille. Quarter-finals seems to be their trend recently, because you think the 2 years before that, 2 quarter-finals in the Champions League for Benfica. Yellow card for Carreras for that high boot. So he is the first Benfica player of the evening to be cautioned. Calmly done by Krunic. Kept Rollheiser away from him at all times. Here's Sion. And Dalcio. Elschnitt. Yinka. Elschnitt. Just off the hip, I think, of Ole Yinka. He's actually scored against Portugal, the nation, before Timmy Elschnitt for Slovenia back in March ahead of Euro 2024. And then, of course, those two countries came together as well in the knockout stage of the tournament. Portugal progressing on penalties. You might remember it was the night Cristiano Ronaldo was in tears after missing a penalty before we got to the shootout. Very strong but fair from Seoul. More hunger in this second half performance, isn't there? From the home team, Dalcio. Seoul. Too close to Florentino. She was spun away from Dalcio here. And he has plenty of options around him. It's come to Carreras. It's come off the chest of Giga. They do have a phenomenal domestic record on this turf, Crvena Zveda. No fellow Serbian team have won here since May 2019, when their great rivals Partizan won a cup game here. So almost 5.5 years have been impenetrable to others in Serbia. But Benfica are finding a way tonight. Olayinka drifting that up towards Silas. Dalcio, that's been quite lively so far, lost his footing. Shifting the ball around with a bit more purpose since he's come on in midfield. Maybe this is why Bruno Lage has decided to make this change early on in the second half, because he's not happy about the direction of travel, maybe. It is Rollheiser is departing. Here comes Fredrik Alsnes, who hasn't played for almost 4 weeks because of injury. It's his return tonight. Actually played in the UEFA Europa Conference League final with Feyenoord, his former club, a couple of years ago. He'll be able to give Benfica some more stability in midfield. That's probably what Bruno Lage is after here. Lost the control they had in the first 45 minutes. Haven't lost a 2-goal lead, though. That's the most important part. Di Maria. Florentino. Here's Alsnes. Otamendi. Carreras. Alsnes. Still kept his eye on the ball well. Alsnes has slipped into the challenge. I don't think it's him that's been penalised, though. It's the tackle before that one there. Pavlidis. They lost 5 of their last 24 European games outside of Lisbon, Benfica. This is Elshnik for Crvena Zveda. Olayinka. That was smart. That deflection off Antonio Silva is going to be helpful in the end for Trubin. So that's to be bold to go and get it, the goalkeeper. Started all 12 of Benfica's European games last season, the Ukrainian international. He was actually Shakhtar Donetsk goalkeeper back in 2020 when they very famously beat Real Madrid home and away in this competition. It's a Kabore. Starting challenge from Olayinka, and then it bounced back off Kabore. Press on this occasion's work for Benfica. Kochu was trying to turn it round the corner. Now Ivanic. It's been too much of Olayinka. 2 Benfica centre-halves have been brilliant tonight. Antonio Silva and Nicolas Otamendi so far really have been imperious back there. Elshnik's cross is deflected off Kabore, and that is a Crvena Zveda corner. just want something to plant their teeth into, don't they, in Belgrade? Noshnik's corner. Never quite reached Silas. Here's Siol. To go through a lot of players to get even close to Trubin's goal. It came off Otamendi in the end. That's come off Di Maria's back, rather unfortunately for him. Noshnik. Olayinka. Kabore showing the flexibility. It's a corner. Certainly winning a lot of set pieces in this second half. They just haven't made anything tangible so far, Crvena Zveda. Halšnik whips in the latest one, and the ball is bounced off Shiga. Bounced nicely towards Trubin. He's got it moving out to Carreras. Fiorentino. Antonio Silva. Piercing the gap, getting it to Kabore. And overcoming Halšnik. Getting the throw as well. For his own podcast, Timmy Halšnik, he interviews fellow sports stars. His career in media is waiting for him once he finishes playing football. He's already got a career in media. Florentino, bit of space for Di Maria. Pavlidis wanted it. Di Maria has got other options on. And the scoop up towards Pavlidis eventually is out of his reach from Krokciu. And I think that is where it was intending to go. Now down the other end immediately, Crvena Zveda to get another corner. These two former European champions are going at it hammer and tong at the moment. Crvena Zveda, of course, back in 1991, Benfica. Twice European winners in the early 1960s, once beating the great Real Madrid, though they've lost 5 finals since then. Halšnik's corner, headed away before it came towards Trubin. Dalcio, back in with interest. Big leap from Otamendi. This is Halšnik. And now Benfica striding forward. Di Maria wants it, but he didn't get it. And I think he's injured himself as well, Di Maria, or is he just frustrated? No, maybe he's just collapsed to the ground in irritation. If Crvena Zveda score, this is going to make a really monumental finish here, because they have certainly offered a lot more in this second half. One thing they haven't done of any real note is given Anatoly Trubin in the Benfica goal an honest save to make. But that, of course, could all change. Here's Shiga. Now the captain, Ivanic. Kabore didn't get a bit of the ball. He's going to get a yellow card as well, Mr. Kabore. Can sometimes, Mr. Kabore, be a little over-eager. Tried to suggest he had retracted the boot there. The trouble is, I think it was more the knee and the thigh that made connections with Ivanic. So the two Benfica fullbacks now on yellow cards. Feel they've got to make one of these situations count. Crvena Zveda. It's had a relatively easy ride so far, Trubin. Elshnik's cross, what a beauty that is. What an exceptional piece of defending from Otamendi as well. Would have had flashes of red and white all around him there. Elshnik bounces wide. Who did that bounce off? Might have been Nasser Giga. He appeared to be the closest one to it. It's come off the chest and then off the thigh, I think. Sensing, isn't he, that they're still in this. Vladan Milojevic saying this week he's very proud of the club's journey and that it is an honour for him to be living this occasion tonight as Crvena Zvezda's head coach. He was asked what his message would be to his players ahead of the game. He said, simply enjoy it because you are here on merit. Elshnik with a punchy, perfect change of play. Dalcio, back to him from Silas. Elshnik. Olejinka is full Kabore. Olejinka has come off Kabore and has gone into the grasp of Trubin. Got lured in there, Issa Kabore, and then Olejinka dragged it away from him. Swipe from Dalcio, it's Di Maria. He has actually scored against Crvena Zvezda before, Angel Di Maria. Did it for Paris Saint-Germain back in 2018 when they put 6 past the Serbian team. Rosnes, has he got that right? He has. It's scooped in by Carreras. Dalcio's touch astray of him. Rosnes. Di Maria. Again, wonderful feet. Far too quick for Silas. Have a watch of this. He's been doing that all his career and they still can't get to grips with it. Loving his time back with Benfica, Angel Di Maria. Of course, this is where it all began. 17 years ago, he played for the first time in the UEFA Champions League for the Eagles. One brilliant free kick already tonight from Kopchu. It's going to have to be excellent to beat Glaser from here. Ooh, it wasn't quite good enough, but he's got the eye in, hasn't he? Krunic. Florentino is suggesting he got a nudge on the ball. Crvena Zvezda have moved it quickly. Bruno Duarte. Dalcio. Elshnik. Ivanic's cross doesn't get all the way into the penalty area as he would have hoped. Neatly done by Kabore. Here is Pavlidis. Play by him. He's gone past 3 or 4 there. He's got the free kick. No wonder he's getting the pat on the back from Florentino. Super striker work. 29 goals in the Eredivisie last season for Vangelis Pavlidis. Parcet Alkmaar. Joint top scorer in the Eredivisie alongside Luc de Jong. Alvaro Carreras making the bursting run, which Seoul saw. Just about in time, the South Korean. Minutes to go. Cervantes Vesta still searching for the 2 goals that they need. It is a striker that is departing. There is not one tonight for Bruno Duarte. Hoping that Sheriff Ndiaye can come up trumps here, the Senegalese international. He's one of a couple of changes, actually, because Oli Inca's also departing. That is Felicia Milson. So the Angolan international, 1 or 2 changes here. Rosnes, Carreras, Di Maria. It's dropped all the way through for Pavlidis, who was battling with the goalkeeper there after Aktürkoğlu's shot. Too much dispute about the decision. Michael Oliver's making his way towards the touchline here. I'm not too sure why. Let's have a look. The UEFA delegates down there. See some sort of instruction needed to be handed over there. Vastly experienced official Michael Oliver. He was at Euro 2024. He was actually the man in the middle for Portugal's exit when they lost to France on penalties. Bruno Lage closing in on something that he's never done before as a Benfica coach in his first spell, which is win an away game in the Champions League. Does tend to get a tune out of teams when he first joins them, Bruno Lage. Saw that with Wolverhampton Wanderers when he went to the Premier League as well. Says the key to his success is he lets his players have an input in the early weeks of his time in any new club. He likes to pick their brains rather than just make his own calls from the outset. Bear in mind, he's only been back at Benfica for a couple of weeks. They already look like they are a squad that are knitting together nicely under him. Kabore with the Benfica throw. Florentino, who very effectively and rather quietly has gone about his job in the midfield tonight, wearing the number 61. Got a new deal with the club last year. Apparently they stuck a £120 million release clause in that contract as well. Problem for Pavlidis. Maybe for Zashiga as well, who might need some treatment. Well, still, Belgrade supports and believes. Why not? Because they achieved the impossible back in 1991. Some members of those inside the crowd tonight certainly won't remember that European Cup final, that famous night in Italy. We beat Marseille on penalties after a goalless 120 minutes. Ship's delivery cleared away. Dalcio. Seol, nicely brought down. He's got away from Carreras into the penalty area where he's glided back from Aterkolu to his goalkeeper Trubin. Story goes back in 1991 that the Crvena Zveda team arrived 6 days before their final at their training camp in Bari, and because there was so much interest in some of Europe's big clubs in their exciting young talent, that the team were placed into quarantine so nobody could get hold of them to distract them with lucrative offers ahead of the game. Might remember the likes of a young Robert Prosinecki and the late and great Siniša Mihajlovic were in that side. Both of them took successful penalties in the eventual shootout. Yellow card there for Alsnes, who was a combative midfielder at the best of times. And now a former Norwegian international. He is only 28, but early this year he announced his retirement from playing with the likes of Erling Haaland and Martin Ødegaard. Di Maria flipped that to Alsnes, which didn't have enough power on it. And now Silas with the burst forward. And he's still going, Silas. Maisie and running dry of room in the end. Threaded through for Kabore, for Benfica. To just pop it into an area in the end. It's a Kabore because wasn't going to be able to go any further than that. Well, we are in Crvena Zveda territory, not just in terms of the location tonight, but also the time of the game as well, because almost 40% of their goals in the league, at least this season, have come in the final 15 minutes of matches. But they need 2 here, evenage, and that is not going to bring them 1. Has he got anything else up his sleeve now? Vladan Milijevic to try and turn the tide here. He's got lots of experience even outside of Crvena Zveda. He's coached multiple teams in Cyprus, a couple of Greece, including AK Athens. Some time in the Saudi Pro League as well. out off Otamendi. Final 10 minutes then in Belgrade. Remember, for both of these teams, 7 Champions League fixtures still to come. Off the back of this in the new league phase. Top 8 teams directly through to the knockout phase, 9 down to 24 into the playoffs to determine the other 8 that will go into the knockout round. And from there on in, it's the same format as last season. Felicia Milson, who's come on in the second half, but has not seen a great deal of the ball since he did so. Borre's clearance. Dalcio. Elshnik. Silas. They found no corner either. Goal kick to Benfica. Scored a goal at AFCON back in January for his country, DR Congo, against Morocco. It's the 4th change of the night here. The arrival of Luka Ilic. He was in his second spell with the club now. He was here as a 15-year-old. He made his debut for them at 18, and then Manchester City came in and took him. It didn't work out for him in England or elsewhere in his loan spell, so he is back where it began. He is a bit more of an attacking midfielder than the man who's gone off in his place, Krunic. Niceness touched off on Pavlidis to Turkoglu. Kabore, who came on in the first half of the injured Alexander Bar. Arguably, the injury to Ognjen Mimovic, the Crvena Zveda right back, perhaps had more of an impact on the home team than it did Benfica in terms of having to shuffle things around and recalibrate. Nice feed from Turkoglu. Kabore. Super speed Kabore. Stopped by the sliding Shiga. It's NDI, who's played it into an area where he couldn't really locate a teammate. Carreras is going off around the outside. That's a good try. That was fizzed by Di Maria towards Glasser's goal. Ever capable, ever got the eye for that, hasn't he, Angel Di Maria? Nilsson into the penalty area. NDI's ended up in a crumpled heap, but not hearing the whistle that he was hoping to hear from Michael Oliver, who has now blown his whistle only because he's wondering whether Sheriff NDI needs some treatment. Tell him to get up. I don't think 100 times over that Sheriff NDI would get a penalty for that, by the way. Shiga. Sissio. Spajic. Now Ivanic. He's one of those players that has had to shuffle into a more defensive position because of that injury to Mimovic in the first half. Di Maria, Pavlidis, blocked by Spajic. Might get another chance here. Pavlidis hurried away in the end by Giga because it had to be. This is Elshnik. NDI, beautifully crafted, great goal. Felicia Milson. And suddenly, Crvena zveda have some hope. And hope from undoubtedly their best move of the whole evening. Not quite tight enough in the end to NDI. It's such a clever ball round the corner. And Felicia Milson has put Crvena zveda within touching distance of an unlikely point in their opening Champions League game of the season. And now listen to Belgrade. This is going to be a very interesting final few minutes. Always felt that if that one chance came their way and they snared it, then we'd have a dramatic finish, and that is what we have. Seol's lost it. Di Maria, somebody experienced in that Benfica team, needs to get their foot on the ball all of a sudden. Turkoglu, but the header is straight to Ivanic. He's got it again here, Ivanic. Trying to barge Kapore out the way. Turkoglu is just getting it up the pitch. And that's going to help Benfica considerably. Lucky bounce for Elshnik. So triple Benfica change, just get the fresh legs on. That is Bruno Larsch's mantra now. See Zeki Abdudi there, he's the first of the trio to be introduced. The German Jan-Niklas Bester is also coming on, as is the vastly experienced Luxembourg midfielder, Leandro Bejeiro. But this is certainly not done, this Champions League game. Are we in for late drama? Seol. This is Luka Ilic. And that is just going to puncture a bit of momentum for Crvena zveda. But he, at the moment, is prancing and dancing around his technical area, Vladan Milojevic. There's some heady nights in the past with him at the wheel. Worth keeping in mind that no side has won here since Manchester City did in last season's Champions League group stage, as it was then. Last 60 seconds, but the home team are going to have a fair portion of stoppage time, I'd argue, to try and get that equaliser. Here's the moments that is making them believe again. Never really a hint that there was ever going to be an offside flag against Milson. Actually scored during the recent international break as well for his country, Angola, a winning goal at Ghana. Amdouni. Oh, how unlucky is that? Tremendous hit from Zeki Amdouni. Would have been signed and sealed had that gone in. Whip that Zeki Amdouni got on that ball. And yet down the other end, some nerves from Carreras, who has slipped and has then recovered well to nudge that ball away from Silas. And amongst the chaos and the carnage, 4 minutes of stoppage time when we've already played almost 60 seconds of it. Elshnik's header forward. Milson, the goal scorer, 2 for company, and he couldn't navigate his way through it. Elsnes, that's a poor ball. Hero was well within his rights to make the challenge. Here's Siol. Elshnik. Ivanic. There's a few in there waiting for it. The cross wasn't high enough to get to any of them. Ivanic again. How many members of Benfica's troops are behind the ball now? Change of direction from Milson. Kabore a little befuddled by it all. Elshnik. Dalcio's cross. This is Siol. Cleverly done. Antonio Silva with the win with his head. But Benfica clinging on to the win that they currently hold. Ivanic. Last 90 seconds, Milson. Dalcio, that's another good ball. And Carreras has missed that one too. Scrambled out to Siol. Little too high for Elshnik. Siol again, who was left to boot a little high. And has maybe hurt himself as well, but not as much as I imagine as the head of Jan-Niklas Bester might be hurting. As he's worn the force of that, and he was brave enough to stick his head in there. Ultimately, though, just what Benfica needed, that bit of bravery. It's a bit unlucky, Siol, because Bester has ducked into the challenge, but ultimately the boot was perhaps a smidge too high from Siol. So a yellow card for him, but perhaps the bigger damage is that is going to zip the momentum that was certainly growing in Crvena Zvezda's ranks. And now, rather than minutes, Benfica know it's seconds that they need to negotiate here. It is the Portuguese team who are off and running in the Champions League. And for Bruno Lage, his first ever away win in the Champions League as the head coach of Benfica, and he is soaking up the moments as well. 2 wins out of 2 at the start of his new spell, his second spell with the Portuguese Giants. And even though That smart late finish from Felicia Milson gave Savannah space to some hope. And indeed, they certainly came hurtling at Benfica in those last few minutes. It ultimately wasn't enough. Disappointment for Vladan Milojevic. But plenty of opportunities for them in the weeks ahead to rectify their Champions League situation. But 3 very precious points tonight in Belgrade for Benfica, with those goals from Atogolu and the tremendous free kick from Kochu in the first half. And it has finished Crvena Zvezda 1, Benfica 2.
This programme was brought to you by Heineken and Follow Scores, UEFA Champions League official sponsor.